Okay, so this image here is an example of the sort of thing that the professional losers on YouTube absolutely thrive on. You know, they toss huge sums of money onto the tables, and although this isn't as huge as it looks, it's just a silly pile of chips. I don't know what it's worth. It's probably, what is it, 2,500, something like that. But anyway, it's a significant sum of money. And they bet randomly. They bet flat sometimes. They bet stupidly, and they can afford to do that because they're going to get their money back one way or another. You and I don't have that kind of luxury. We don't have a cash cow waiting to spew gold bars all over us, or spit out a big fat check from YouTube, from Google. Moogle, I call the cash cow. So, you know, we've got to be a lot more sensible. If you want to bet randomly, if you want to bet emotionally and stupidly, then have at it. It's your money, your choice. Do what you want. But I got to tell you, for anybody who takes these table games, casino table games, seriously, and approaches them as a business proposition, not as fun and games and excitement and recreation and blah, 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 whatever. All of this activity on YouTube is mystifying and also infuriating and just really bad news, because the Vegas Mats and all the others, you know, they cannot lose, but they're trying to reel you in. Now, I have no idea what their explanation for their behavior is, other than the fact that they're making a shitload of money and they don't care what harm they do. That's got to be part of it. But also, from the casino's point of view, best source of advertising ever in the history of the casino business, because casinos have always been restricted in the amount of advertising they can put into newspapers, on TV, whatever, even putting out their own material, leaflets and so on, you know. And like on the road from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, you don't start seeing billboards advertising casinos until you cross the Nevada border. Not allowed in California, or at least they weren't when I used to do that trip regularly. And you know, that was post dinosaurs, so believe me, it wasn't that long ago. You just wouldn't see any kind of advertising because basically smart people, politicians, understand that gambling is damaging, it's harmful, harmful to society, harmful to individuals, etc., etc. Can't deny that it's fun. I've always found that it's interesting and entertaining, to the point where, as long as I can do what I know how to do, which is to apply pattern betting, then I'm having a fine time. As long as I'm, you know, bringing money in at a reasonable rate. I'm not greedy. I do it sort of sensibly. I try not to make a spectacle of myself. I don't boast about winnings, anything like that. I just get on with the job, and it is a job. Now, for most of you out there, gambling is fun and exciting and all the rest of it. All I'm saying to you is, if you bet like this guy, you know, you are going to get murdered. You are going to get wiped out. Yes, you know, he bet a huge sum of money, caught a crap hand, a stiff, as they call it, and luckily for him, the dealer was showing a stiff card, the six there, and drew an 8 to his 16, and bingo, that was it. Money coming in. Doesn't happen often enough for that to be in any way relevant to what I'm trying to teach you, which is that if you bet progressively, and specifically if you use pattern betting, you're not going to win all the time. I couldn't tell you that even if I was allowed to, and I'm not allowed to, and that's good, you know, but you will win a lot more often than you're winning right now. The trouble is, you have to have money behind you, and you have to believe, and you have to stick to the strategy as best you can. I screw up from time to time. I make mistakes. Anybody who's watched any of my demos knows that every so often I'll go, oops, you know. But you have to believe in the strategy, make adjustments. As soon as you make a mistake, don't get sort of panicked about it if it hurts you. Just fix it and move on. That's how it goes. Anyway, This was supposed to be just a short intro, and as usual, I've talked too much. But hey, what can I do? that's that's what I do. So I'll see you later. All right then. So I've been having a baccarat couple of days, bringing everything up to date, and excuse me, working with a new worksheet that presents the successful shoes in chronological order, very clearly and transparently and honestly and obviously and accurately and immaculately and meticulously and all of those good things. And so now, after another dose of John Sirasani, the self-crowned king of blackjack, the greatest player who ever lived, walked, breathed, played, whatever, and boy, he is considerably worse than average. I feel like playing blackjack for a bit. Oh, that's really super. Thank you very much. Ah! Bollocks. Okay, so that's 1, 2. No, 51. What am I talking about? 51. And we repeat that one. Well, that worked out nicely. All right. Can't beat those, can you? 1, 2. I like that one. It's always nicer to win than to lose, I find. But the way these clowns on YouTube behave, you think that losing was the greatest gift. It's just very odd. It looked like a 22 to me. What a shame. 1, 2 again. That's a double. Yeah, you don't get doubles better than that either, do you? Okay, back to the min. Always, always, always back to the min. Once you got your money in the bag, don't be greedy. $51. 2, 3. Bugger! Hate those. Especially when they're followed by those. 5, 6. Another 22. 11, 6, dropping to 3. We're going to be running away in a bit, I think. That is a bitch. 8, 6. Another 22. We're not getting much luck, are we? 8, 6, 14, 12. Which I think we should call 3, 3 for the turnaround in 1500s. That worked out. All right, I like that. So we had to put out 3,000 there, and that guaranteed us our kitty, our win, our chip pile of 800. So that's not terrible. You know, it's more than 20% anyway. So in a matter of what, we just passed 4 minutes. You have to keep these things in perspective, and you have to treat these games as a business proposition, as an investment opportunity. You know, you can't think of them as fun and games. That looked bad, didn't it? Okay, so I think that's got to be 2, 3 because of the double down there. That's a double down. Ouch! 2, 3, 8, 8, 10. Oh my God, look at that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. 8, 10, that was awful. But it happens all the time. The dealer getting 21 to your 20 is not that uncommon. With a 7, you expect there to be a 10 under. You hope there's going to be a 10 under, and then you're in the clear. What did I say that was? It was 8-10. And did I lose the double? Or is it 18-20? I'm not even sure. Isn't that bad? Okay, 18-20. I think we're on 3-4, and I will run away if this doesn't work. This is the turnaround. It's not going to work, is it? Nope. Okay, so 7-4, and we're gagging. Okay, so we have plus 93,075, which means we're down 6,925. And we are running away. All right, so now we're looking at a nice clean new shoe. 7-4 in thousands is where we're at. So that means the drop has to be 2. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that worked, didn't it? So now we're on 5-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not great. Well, I got better though, didn't it? 1, 2. I would love to see a double down winning here. Well, that made my day, I'll tell you. Okay, so now what we're looking at, and I'm going to have to fix this bloody glitch here, damn it. All right, so I know I'm anal and stuff. I can't help myself. So anyway, what happened there was that we turned around beautifully in the first few hands here, which is lovely. Oh, look, I overset. This is the sort of thing that drives me crazy. I'm trying to help you folks here. Honestly, I really am. But I keep getting caught up in my own nonsense. My obsession, of course, with detail is what has led me to develop this strategy over these many years. So I'm not going to apologize. Well, I'm kind of apologizing, just a little bit. Anyway, we're now 3,075 ahead. And it's taken us 7 minutes to get there. And I'm going to keep on. Now I'm going to drop back down to 25. Not because I believe that you could do this at the same table. You can have a big bet like that and then drop back to the minimum. But it's simply to demonstrate that the pattern is always there, that there will be wins and losses, bloody, 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 blah. So, and that's a bitch. I don't like that at all. All right, 1, 2. Oh, this is not going the way it's supposed to. 3, 4. Not at all the way it's supposed to. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. I got a bit better, didn't it? All right. So back to the min. 3 play is key to all of this. Falling back to the minimum after you've got your money in the bag is another essential part of the whole thing. Just belief is very important. Obviously, a big bankroll is very important. There are so many things that matter, and they all come together. So if you practice this thing, I would recommend using this sim or using the Baccarat Win Pro Baccarat sim. Practice, 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 practice. Build your confidence, build your belief, build your skills so that everything is pretty much automatic. Recognize that you're going to make mistakes from time to time because nobody's perfect, certainly not me. Whoa, just work at it. But this is a business proposition. It It is not entertainment. It's not relaxation. It's not fun. Do not touch alcohol. Do not sit down to play unless you're at your best. If you're feeling tired, frustrated, threatened, uncomfortable, hungry, busting for a piss, sitting in a breeze, any of those things, get out, get out, get out. Get up and go. Gag. Okay, so I got over my bloody dreaded buggy lurgy thingy. And now I'm back to my old throat nonsense. What am I doing here? I'm supposed to hit that, aren't I? I probably wouldn't stand on a 7, right? Ha! After all that. Sorry. One of these days I'll get smart and get those things taken care of on the edit. But what I need is one of those fancy programs that recognizes a cough and all the rest of it, or a splutter or a sneeze or a fart, and takes it out. I think that was good. Oh, show off. There's nothing that happens in this sim that doesn't happen in real life. And believe me, you can trust this thing. It is so clever, so accurate, so fair and honest, and such a good representation of what you will come across in any casino where you're only allowed to bet one hand. I mean, that's the difference, of course, is that this is a one-hand thing. But then I don't approve of splitting into multi-bets anyway. I just think it's ridiculous. So, and people like John Sirasani prove it all the time. I think the only one I know who's actually making money out of them is Degen Dolt, and he ran through a fluky session where he just couldn't lose. He's had a couple of sessions where his multi-hand bets have paid, but not many. That's a repeat, I think. Back to the main. Well. Well. Okay, I think we did all right there, so back to the men. Like, I always like dealer 22s. I am a big fan. Sorry. +1. One, two. Goody goody. I guess that was a wash. Double for the wash, for the push, whatever. Ooh, 51. 2-3. 5-6. I like that one. That was good. I like to double down an 8 against 5 or 6. I'm in a minority there. It's just that because we're working a strategy where a loss or a win determines the size of the next bet, I don't feel so bad about it. If you're betting randomly, stupidly, just ridiculously, like Vegas Matt or John Sirasani or Dana White or any of those other professional losers, then it's probably not a good idea to put that much extra money in play. But because of the way I play, but because of the way pattern betting tells me to play, I don't feel bad about it, because if it is a screw up, then it just rolls forward and it just determines what happens in the future until turnaround eventually comes. So there you have it. Anyway, where are we? That's a plus, isn't it? Sorry. That's a double for the push. I think that's going to be a double down. I'm not sure. You know, I'm going to check that. Yeah, see, you've got the cheat chart on the right there. I don't. So, yes, it's against a 3, it would be a double. Against a 2, it's not. So, thank you. All right, so that's like, it's got to be 2-3, I guess. Oh dear, I lost that one. Sorry. Well, it worked out, didn't it? Oops. Back to the min. $22 again. Terrible. 22 up there. I like them up there. I don't like them on this side of the table. Weird, huh? Back to the min. Oh, that was a cheeky one. Another plus. One, two. 3, 4. I like it. Back to the mini. Mum. Did I double that? I think I might have done. Not sure. I keep doing that, don't I? It's not because I know what's coming. Idiots! Another plus. Oh, beat me hollow. Sorry. That was a lot of work, wasn't it? Up there. Okay, if you notice the clock jump there, it's because I had a little fit. Let's call that a clear. I'm not sure. I lost it there. My concentration ain't what it used to be. And no, I'm not losing my mind. It's simply that when I have a bloody major coughing fit, everything goes out the window. $51. Repeat. 1, 2. You finally got there. Okay, we're on the home stretch, hopefully. You can't guarantee that until you get there, but that would be 2, 1, 2. 1, 2 is where we're at. All right, we got that one all right. And we're on a +1. Must be close to being shut down here. All right. That's a 50. Oh, might be a 1, 2. I just keep expecting any second to be coughing again. So, I'm sort of not quite on the ball today. Sorry. My apologies. All right. So we won on the last hand. The end of the shoe, 19.5 minutes. So we'll call it 20 minutes. And we've got 13,325 over here and 6,925 from the gag shoe 004. So we won 6,400 in 20 minutes, which I think is decent. Um, as I say, whenever I announce the winnings, I say what is the truth, which is that the likes of Dana White and Vegas Matt and all the high rollers, the sort of the Jack of Farts, I think that's a better name for him. Steve Will Do It, and Crazy Cody Burn Money, and other high rollers like Bobby Rivas, and most of the clowns, most of the idiots who are shilling for the casinos on YouTube, the professional losers who collect their losses, get all their losses back with a huge bonus amount from Google, the cash cow. They would not be impressed by 6,400 in 20 minutes. That is nearly 20,000 an hour. It's 19,200 an hour. So I don't think it's so terrible. But, you know, they're entitled to their opinion, even if they are completely wrong. There you have it. Anyway, I'll be back. All right, so this is the Excel analysis of the blackjack session, the brief blackjack session that you just sat through. If you did, I hope you did, because that's what it's there for. And obviously, if you come this far, then you can't be among the millions of people who think that numbers and analysis and all the rest of it spoil the fun of gambling. I have never ever thought of gambling as fun. I thought of gambling for as long as I can remember as an opportunity to make a profit. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to treat it like a business, then you'd better be businesslike. You'd better be properly cautious at the right time, properly adventurous at the right time. You know, I mean, it's just it's a different approach. That's all I'm saying. You know, I mean, most people think of gambling as being fun and excitement and recreation and entertainment and none of those things apply as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not a killjoy. I think that there is nothing more fun, ultimately, than ending a session at one of these table games, be it blackjack or baccarat or whatever. I tend to stick with those two most of the time, but every so often I'll wander off to craps. Try to stay away from roulette. I might start at roulette, and as soon as it gets sticky, and only single zero roulette too, European roulette, as soon as it starts to get a bit sticky, then I'll move over to one of the games, one of the card games, blackjack or baccarat. Blackjack is my favourite, no doubt, but baccarat is bloody good. I mean, it's a good place to go to make some money if you know what you're doing. Anyway, let's have a look at this. What we have here is the actual value, flat bets, and as you can see, fairly ordinary, and then and the is what kills most players. You know, it's we dropped from 109 up there all the way down to 120. This is obviously negative. You can see that from this thing here. So you know that was 11 bets behind. Those are the things that build the casinos. It's those stretches like that where people are not properly funded, properly financed, properly resourced, and they're bankrupt when something like that comes along. Then, of course, we saw up, down, and this is absolutely typical. End of the day here, we were, let's have a look. We ended up with a player advantage of 2 more wins than losses, okay? 1.9% player edge. What did pattern betting do? Pattern betting took that and on action of 30,725 made a profit of 10,825. 42% against 2%. You know, I mean, that's what the purpose of pattern betting is. It's not intended only to win when I win more bets than I lose. Not at all. Most of the time, I am way happier if I see one of these demos ending in a negative AV and then a positive score for pattern betting, because that demonstrates exactly what I'm trying to tell you all these times. What I'm trying to teach you is that, you must win more when you win than you lose when you lose, so that you can kick the casino's ass against a negative proposition when you've lost more bets than you won. So along here, I mean, this is just a repeat of these numbers here. There is the total 10,825 win, total action there. The bit that matters is 484 is the average win, 174 is the average loss in this session. This is the algorithm, by the way. This is not me betting. This is the algorithm betting. 280%, one over the other. 484 over 174 is a win over loss percentage of 279. Going down to the actual session that I just had, betting exactly the bets that I bet, not quite as dramatic. Partly because I do dumb stuff. I make mistakes. I do the wrong thing, but I play pretty much perfect pattern betting, but not as perfect as the algorithm. That's for sure. Because the algorithm is not human. It's weird. It never makes mistakes, and I'm a bit kind of suspicious of that. But anyway, what you've got is a win for actual, the actual bets that you just saw played out. 6,400. What I showed was 6,400. Here I'm seeing 6,375, and I'm prepared to eat that $25. Here you've got the same, obviously the same AV, the same actual value, a player edge of 1.9%, and in the real play that you just saw played out, somewhat less action. Somewhat less the win, 6,400 over 30,000, etc., etc., etc. And you look at the average win value, 501, average loss minus 307, average win over average loss 163%. Not as dramatic as the algorithm's result, but hey, what we're here for is to consistently win. I love it when I see a negative AV, as I keep saying. And in a lot of these things, you'll see negative, 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 time and time again, especially in Baccarat. Shoe after shoe after shoe is shit in terms of the number of wins versus the number of losses. But dear old pattern betting just keeps on coughing up a lovely profit. Nothing excessive, nothing to get Dana White bloody jumping up and down. Nothing to excite the likes of Vegas Matt and Steve Will Do It, the Jack of Farts. It's undramatic, but winning at these games is a business as far as I'm concerned. So slow and steady is what wins the race, and it is a race. It's a constant. It's a series of battles. It's a constant war, if you like. And, the main thing is to just keep kicking ass even when you lose more bets than you win. That's all I'm saying. I know I'm saying it over and over and over again, and it's probably driving some people nuts. Well, I think the ones it's driving nuts have probably left me by now. But, right now my audience is tiny. That's because I'm in the wrong place. I'm in Idiotsville. I'm in a place where people actually waste their lives watching the likes of Vegas Matt and Steve Will Do It and Bobby Rivas and Bretsky and Brandon O'Brien and who else? Mr. Handpay, Jason Bulkey and his highly suspect The Felt Life. I mean, I can't prove it, but I believe that these guys are cherry picking. They are showing us what they want us to see. John Sirasani, I forgot to mention his name. How could I forget the greatest blackjack player of all time? The guy who allows us to witness greatness. Bloody hell. What a twit. Anyway, here we are. We've got another win. Bloody, bloody, blah. We should have won anyway because we were a little bit ahead in terms of the number of wins versus the number of losses. We actually vastly improved the AV. And that's what we're here for, right?